Compared to my previous school, Hibari High's cafeteria is pretty small, and there aren't many seats either. I suppose there are two reasons that explain the open atmosphere it has in spite of that. One being... I suppose there are two reasons that explain the open atmosphere it has in spite of that. There we go, my bad. One being, since the counter where the trays are placed is pretty wide, there are no lines. Oh, sweet, no lines. The second being that you are free to take your lunch out of the cafeteria and eat elsewhere. Thank you, Kosame. Alright, sweet. Thanks, also. Oh, anything, huh? What about caviar? With the exception of mayonnaise, nothing really. No, reminds me of Chinami. Family-related reasons? Yep. Actually, on second thought, I'll just go get something myself. In other words, because I'm getting roasted and eaten afterwards? What? Okay. Give me a chicken and egg rice bowl then. Thanks, Asuka. Okay, that's interesting. After the two head towards the counter, Kosami-san and I instead go to get tea for all four of us and then sit down. As I am leisurely sipping on my tea, not slipping, flip, Kosami-san suddenly mentions that. What do you mean? You think so? Well, I mean, I still used to live here. Like, this is my hometown. Yeah, but I lived here first. Did you hear that? Or did I not tell her that yet? True. But I don't mean that in a bad sense. Kusami-san puts a hand on her cheek and forms her face into a wry smile. Only a handful of buses and trains run throughout Hibarigasaki. There are neither department stores nor thrift shops anywhere, and there's none of the usual recreational places like karaoke bars or arcades either. You mean because transfer students come to hate living here? Kusami-san answers with a mild nod. No need to worry about that, honestly. Well, even besides that, I simply love this town. Kusami-san makes a surprised expression. Alright, there's something I want to ask you. I change the subject before she has the opportunity to inquire about why I love the town. Well, the other day, there was that fight going on in front of the school gate, right? You know, Asuho and that other girl. Yep. Which explains the similarity in their looks. They literally look identical, yep. How did that fight turn out in the end? A temporary ceasefire, okay. So they haven't settled the differences yet?
さんと姉さんは会うたびに何かといがみ合いますから、同じクラスじゃなくてほっとしているんです。
Well, so how come they're so tooth and nail off each other?
主にテンクルが原因ですね。
What's that?
おそらく食事中にその謎は解けますよ。
Okay, why can't you just tell me what it is?
お待たせ。こちらサンドイッチセットと親子丼になります。
Thank you. Also returns of trays in her hands, conducting herself in a way reminiscent of how she served me and Chinami in her maid attire the other day. Lol. Also sits down next to Kosame and Asuka next to me. Following that, wish each other bon appetit before digging in. What? Oh yes, I love stargazing. Asuka. What? Well, you people are trying to recruit me? The fuck? Lol. Faced with the noise from the other two, Kasami-san is literally taking a bite out of one of her sandwiches. All of a sudden, Asuka puts his arm on my shoulder like we are the bestest of bros. Hey, not yet, alright? Give it time, give it time. What? Where do I even start?
生誕137億年と呼ばれるこの広大な宇宙には地球人以外の知的生命体が息づいているとは思わないか
？137億年がなんだよ。こっちは137億光年の先にある星座のロマンに思いを馳せられるんだよ。
Okay? Hello? I highly doubt there are stars located at the end of the universe.
星座なんか所詮人が作った遊びだろ。なあ、小笠か。こっちは人類の英知も及ばない神秘をこの目にできるかもしれないんだぜ。
ようちゃんは私が先につばつけたんだよ。ハスカ君は一人で UFO 追いかけてたらいいじゃない。
UFOs, huh? Alright then.
岡天は常に有能な人材を探してるんでね。
Cult circle, okay.
その岡天って物質もないしテンプルよりも弱小のくせに。
Dang, that sucks.
俺がいる場所、そこが岡天なのさ。
I mean, it's better than the secret society for the hidden big titty. So, he has that going for him at least.
要するに部員はアスカ君しかいないってことじゃない。
Feeling completely lost, I choose to ask Kosami-san, still silently pecking at a sandwich about what is going on. What are those two even on about?
部活勧誘の話ですよ。ようちゃん、私たちのテンクルに入るよね。
Astro Circle is pretty self-explanatory, so.
いや、俺の岡天だよな。
And I'd rather join the Astro Circle, to be completely honest with you, not just because cute girl, but also because I like stars more than like I like astronomy stuff more than like occult stuff, which I'm not interested in at all, actually. Okay, that makes things clearer. At the very least, I get the gist of what is going on. Being a transfer student, I haven't joined any club or circle yet. As such, the two of them are trying to use that opportunity and win me over. That also explains why I got invited to lunch. Wow, I'm just being used. Fuck is this? It's pretty obvious the occult circle is researching paranormal jargon and all that, but what's the astro circle? I mean, it's astronomy. It's halfway in the name. It's still very apparent what it is. Yep, see? Told you. So basically, something like an astronomy club, huh? I mean, isn't yours the same thing? Before that, the question. Is joining a club with circle compulsory at this school? I'm essentially gunning to not join one. Darn it. That'd be too much for my part-time job after school. Which reminds me, I have to confirm whether we're allowed to have jobs later as well. Darn it. Besides, there's one more thing I have to do after school. I need to go to the lookout. Something I need to do as soon as possible in order to recall the lookout girl's name again.
この町田舎だろ。帰宅部になったって遊ぶ場所なんかねえから暇するよりは部活するんだよ。
I mean, what about video games, huh? I can play video games, I can read a good book, I can play footsies, anyway.
塾に通うために帰宅部になる人もいるけど、それも少数派なんだよね。ひばり校は進学校というわけじゃありませんからね。
だから小笠か、俺と一緒に UFO シグナルを受信して宇宙人とコンタクトを図ろうぜ。
そんな危ない人になっちゃダメだよ、ようちゃん。
テンクルなんか入ったら気がなトランプ三昧になるのがオチだ。こっちの方がずーっと健康的だぜ。
オカルトに比べたらトランプの方がずっと健康的だよ。私には50歩100歩に聞こえますよ。スクリーンに天体図映して眺めるの飽きたって言ってトランプ持ってきたのこそぎちゃんなのに。今度は花びらにしますか？
Kusame did it. That aside, my lunch is completely cold by now. What to do? What to do? As for those two, well, I can't honestly say I'm interested in joining any clubs or circles, so I'm considering how to turn them down while mixing up my bowl's topping. How many members do you even have, first of all?
俺のおかげにそんな姑息な意図はねえぞ。ただ純粋に宇宙人と人差し指を突き合わせて自転車で空を飛ぶために活動するんだからな。
E.T. You get points for that, Asuka.
だから危ない人だよそれ。
俺が見たところ、小笠原はアブダクションされトランスミッションを埋め込まれた過去を持っている。すでにおかげに入ることを運命づけられているのさ。
Okay, you just lost your points, Asuka.
そんなバカな運命あるわけないよ。だってようちゃんはテンクルにぴったりな転入生だもん。
Sorry guys, but...
ようちゃんはうちの店に来た時に言ったもん。
In response to also passionately talking in a loud voice, some of the other students that are chatting along with their friends while eating the lunches turn our way.
ようちゃんはヘルメスの盾事が言葉の神話だって分かってくれたもん。
Also has a voice that carries well even amidst the noise levels of places like this. And the words that voice is carrying permeate right into my heart. What kind of stuff does the Astro Circle do exactly? A wincy bit of interest has found me. Aw dang, she's persuaded me. She's good. Shit. I like to do real stargazing at least once. It isn't like I've always had to sing for the stars. I only grew knowledgeable about them for the lookout girl. That was all. I merely read through tons of illustrated astronomy encyclopedias in order to learn more about them. course, that being the case, I've never done proper stargazing using a telescope before. Alto's surprised expression turns over to joy.
テンクはね、望遠鏡で夜空の星を眺めるんだよ。それで写真を撮るんだよ。
What else?
それだけだよ。それだけでもすごいんだよ。星ってね、すっごいんだから。
I mean, he's right. Probably not knowing how to express it with words, also was trying to explain to me the magnificence of stargazing by gesturing. Seeing all that frantic about it comes across to me as a tad bit adorable. What do you mean a tad bit? It's very adorable. Just saying.
なんだよ小笠か、俺を裏切るのか。
I told you give it time. I wasn't even slightly interested in joining your occult circle from the get-go.
俺と一緒にヘブンズドアを開く儀式で宇宙意志とチャネリングとシャレ込むぜ。
Only lunatics would do that.
ひで
Well,
では、テンクルに入っていただけるんですか？小雨ちゃんも部員なんだよ。りょうちゃんが入ってくれたらこれで5人目。
okay, who are the other two? Well, about that, can I put my answer on hold? Also, Kusami's on blink in surprise. I need to go look for a part-time job after school, and besides that, there's also some other business I need to take care of.
前も言ってたよね。金欠だって。
So, quick question. Does this school allow students to hold part-time jobs?
先生に理由を話して許可をもらえば平気ですが、アショウさんもそうしていますし。
Oh yeah, that's true, huh? I didn't even think of that.
私のは家事手伝い扱いだけどね。
Ah, that's also true.
なんでまたバイトなんかするんだ。
Well, reasons?
カメラ買いたいんならデジタルカメラはやめとけ。 UFO や心霊写真を撮るならやっぱりフィルム式をおすすめするぜ。
Asuka!
そんなのより断然望遠鏡の方がいいよ。値段が高いと思ったら天体観測用の双眼鏡も安くておすすめだよ。
Okay. Well, I'm not looking for a job so I can save up money for something big.
テンクルはバイトしながらでも活動できるよ。だって天体観測は夜になってからが本番だからね。
I mean, that's true.
アショウさん、これ以上は小笠原さんを困らせるだけだと思いますよ。
Nah, she's fine. A cheerful smile on her face. Kusame-san turns my way.
小笠原さん、もしバイトの時間に余裕があったら一度テンクルの見学に来てくださいね。いつでも待ってるよ、りょうちゃん。
With a wry smile on my face, I answer. Got it. After that, we finally get to eating. It is cold, but it still tastes pretty decent. As soon as the bell signaling the end of the school day comes, I cram my textbooks and stuff into my bag and stand up.
りょうちゃん、これからバイトの許可もらいに行くの？
That's the plan. So who exactly would I have to talk to about that?
担任の先生で大丈夫だよ。教務室の場所わかる？
Nah, I've been there a few times already.
そっか。バイトどんなの探すの？
I haven't gotten to that point yet, honestly.
よかったらうちの喫茶店でやらない？スタッフがお父さんと私だけだから忙しくてさ。
Dang, she really wants me to join her cafe, huh?
メイド喫茶じゃないから男性スタッフも募集中だよ。
Yeah, I'll give it a thought.
テンクルの見学と一緒に待ってるね。
We briefly wave at each other, and then I head towards the hallway.
ちなみにおかけんも男性スタッフ募集中だぜ。
Asuka! I feel like I won't be paid in a currency valid on this planet, so I'll pass on that offer. Dude. Oh, Asuka. I received permission fairly easily. Since my homeroom teacher is aware of my family situation, he immediately consents when I say that it is to cover living expenses. That I am thankful for. However, when he encourages me with a, "Keep your head up, and I know it will be just fine," that makes me feel kinda, well, awkward. or rather slightly irritated because it strikes me as meddlesome. I don't really consider my own situation as deserving of pity. With that out of the way, next I go up to the 4th floor where the sturdier classrooms are. I'm going up here. There are 3 items on the list of things I need to take care of here before I go home. The first item was getting permission for having a part-time job. Since I had already completed that, I then move on to the second item, which is what brought me to this floor. This is my first order of business in searching for the lookout girl whose name I've lost. Asking around for information. Ah, okay, I see. I scan the faces of the sturdiers as I pass them by in the hallway. I sneak a peek into the individual classrooms and take a look at the faces of the girls currently indulging in that feeling of liberation brought about by the ending of the school day. I've forgotten the name of the lookout girl, but I still have her appearance to go off of, luckily enough. Inside my memories, she is obviously still a child, but even if she has matured and changed since then, common facial features should exist. If any part of her appearance is carried through to her now, there's no way I'd mistake it. That is why I decided to go around and take a look at the sturdier girls. The lookout girl was from Hibarigasaki, since we used to play together at the lookout. That was a fact I was certain of. Furthermore, she was older than me. She never told me her actual age, but judging by how she acted back then, I could safely assume so. If I took these 2 bits of information into account, there is a chance that she was a student at Hibari High, or is right now. If she is a student here right now, then there is only one grade she could be in. If she never attended Hibari High in the first place, or if she did but already graduated, that would make this a fruitless endeavor. Even so, I couldn't bring myself to discard the possibility as long as something was there. If I give up, I'll only be haunted by regret. That is what my past self is telling me with a sour look. A considerable amount of questioning gazes are piercing my way. It's only natural considering a student they've never seen before is wandering around and even going as far as to suspiciously peek in the classrooms, only to leave again right away. Yeah, I was gonna mention that, are we kinda basically stalking? It is a terribly uncomfortable feeling. My desire to find her is starting to increase by the minute, and I can't spot her anywhere. I've gone and checked all sturdier classrooms, but in the end, there are no students that resemble her. Yes, there's also the chance she already went home. School is over, so that possibility certainly exists. Maybe it'd be in my best interest to shoot for lunchtime instead next time. But still, that wouldn't guarantee me getting a look at all enrolled female sturdiers. If I, for instance, went and peeked into all sturdier classrooms during class, I suppose I'd be able to see all of them. But if I actually went and did something like that, I'd be labeled a sketchy guy and more than likely earn myself a seat in the guidance counselor's room afterwards. Oh yeah, for sure. Guess I'll just have to resume my search tomorrow. Besides, there's another method I can use to look for her. I choose to withdraw for today and instead head towards the library next. All the specialized rooms should be located on the 2nd floor. Oh no. It's this chick again. As I'm making my way towards the stairway, I spot another female student. I didn't see her when I was looking around just now. Maybe she was on a lower floor and just got back up here. Most likely she is a sturdier by the looks of it. However, she is undoubtedly not the lookout girl. My memories clearly inform me so. Oh no. Nothing? She speaks out to me as we are passing each other. Yes! Yes, I did. No! That's not the case? Why, yo? Why didn't you lie? At that point, her toneless, gender-neutral voice prompts my memories. This isn't my first time hearing it. Business. This unreserved, aggressive demeanor also. I never knew you were a student here. Uh-huh. Seems like she'd recognize me from the offset. I don't know her name, but she's the girl I encountered that one time in front of the fence on my way to the lookout.
それで、君はどうして3年のクラスを見て回っていたんだ?
No. Shit. She saw that? But how? I didn't see her anywhere while I was going around peeking in the classrooms.
私の質問に答えてくれないのか?
Not really, no. Let me ask you one thing before that. I replied to her question. How do you happen to know that I'm a transfer student?
君がこの前自分で言っていたじゃないか。このひばりが崎に引っ越してきたばかりだと。転入生が今日2人、ひばり校にやってくることも、教師から事前に連絡があったんだ。
Two? Who's the other one? Huh?
次は、そろそろ私の質問に答えてもらおうか。
Well, I'm not really obligated to answer it, am I?
あると思うが。
I think not! So, clearly we're at a disagreement here. Quid pro quo isn't too popular these days, you know.
むしろ日本人としての礼節じゃないのか?
Aren't you being a little, snappish towards me?
それは君の方だと思うが。
I'm in a hurry, so I'll be going now. Bye! For whatever reason, I just can't deal with this person. In particular, that scrutinizing gaze who keeps throwing at me like she's judging my soul.
休養があるのであれば仕方がないか。
I turn my back towards her after she reacts strangely, understandingly in a low voice, and go down the staircase. Since I am looking for the library by carefully paying attention to the plate sticking out above the doors, I immediately find it. The interior is pretty similar to the library at my old school. Maybe the libraries of just about any school look fundamentally the same. I suppose the checkout system should be pretty much the same too. Or maybe not. They're using handwritten borrower's cards. In the city, they used a barcode system to register who has which book checked out. But I suppose handwritten cards do actually fit this town a lot more.
あれ? Kogasaka-san.
Hey, Kusame, what's up, girl? When the girl sitting at the reception desk raises her head, it turns out to be Kusame-san. Wait, you're the librarian? What? Or like an assistant librarian? You're in the library committee, Kusame-san?
そうですよ。今日は当番の日だったんです。
Okay, library committee. I did not know that was a thing. Neat. She places the borrower's cards she had apparently been sorting to the side of the desk. Ah, sorry. Don't mind me if you have stuff to do.
気にしないでください。図書室で本を借りる生徒はあまりいませんから、いつも暇を持て余しているんです。
I can hardly spot any students in the library. Seems like there aren't many students who care to study. Another thing that is different from my last school.
委員会は部活と違って所属したがる生徒はあまりいませんので、ある意味こちらも勧誘の危険がありますよ。
Do committees also hunt for new members here?
特に生徒会が行っていますね。生徒会役員の方は立候補だけじゃなく推薦で選ばれることも多いですから。
Well, I highly doubt anyone would recommend a transfer student.
小笠坂さんは前の学校では委員会に所属していたんですか?
No, I wasn't.
部活は?
Never joined any.
やっぱり。
What you trying to say? Why is that?
小笠坂さんは塾に通っていたんじゃないですか?
No, not really. Kusame-san tilts her head in puzzlement.
てっきりそうだと思っていたんですけど。
What gave her that idea?
私、小笠坂さんの転入試験の点数を知っているんですよ。
Huh?
生徒会役員の姉さんから聞いたんですけどね。生徒会には生徒の成績を把握する義務があるそうですから。
Seems like the student council here at Hibari High has quite a lot of power. Gotta say, I don't really want to get involved with them much. Did you tell my score to everyone else, Kusame-san?
言ってませんよ。生徒会役員の方も公表することはありませんから、 ヶ坂さんの成績はとても優秀だって。
So that was why she reckoned I used to attend cram school instead of having been a committee or club member, huh? Could I ask you to keep quiet about that, please?
それはいいですけど、テストが実施されれば皆さん知ることになると思いますよ。
Well, so they, put up the names of all the students who score well here?
中間と期末のテストは各教科ごとにトップ10の方まで並びますよ。
I look up at the ceiling with an expression of dismay.
どうしたんですか？
Nothing. You just, well, she'll get a bit of a traumatic experience.
そうなんですか？テストの成績が優秀なのは誇るべきことだと思いますよ。
I was talking about something that had happened after we moved away from Hibarigasaki. After I just transferred into my new school. What happened? The fuck? Like, what traumatic experience happened that's related to me getting good grades? The fuck? Interesting. Being the egghead I was, I got to top the score in every subject in my grade level. What was crucial here was, these exams took place before my new guy status had worn off in the class. Which in turn isolated me. Ah, okay.
小ヶ坂さんの転入試験の結果は学年総大に選ばれてもおかしくない成績だったそうですよ。ですから姉さんは小ヶ坂さんを生徒会にスカウトする気満々みたいです。気をつけてくださいね。
Man. More Sakusaku vibes. Give me a break. I don't want my trauma to flare up again.
困ったことになったらいつでもご相談くださいね。私は姉さんの味方ですけど、小ヶ坂さんの味方でもありますから。
Thank you, Kasame. I appreciate it. If all students were like Kasame-san back in the past, it might have fit into my class without having to go for any hardships.
小ヶ坂さん、今日はどんなご用で図書室にいらしたんですか？
Good question. Oh yeah, right. There's some books I'm looking for.
どんな本ですか？
There are two kinds of books I need, and both kinds are rather specific ones at that.
図書委員の私にかかれば、学校が所蔵している本なら、どんなものでもお見せすることができますよ。
Alright then, I'll take you up on that. Thus I informed Kasame-san of the third item on my agenda. Could you tell me Hibari High's yearbooks? As well as any books you've got on memory loss. Ah, okay. I see. The yearbooks. In order to confirm whether the lookout girl is a Hibari High graduate. The books relating to memory loss, in order to recover her name. I want to do everything in my power to see to it that our reunion comes true.
ひばり校は今年で創立55年目となります。そのため卒業アルバムは全部で52冊となっています。
55th year, huh? Dang, dude.
数字が合わないのは、1期生が卒業するまでは卒業生がいなかったためですね。
Makes sense.
ひばり校は開校した当時、木造校舎だったそうです。体育館もプールも学食もなく、この図書室をはじめとする特別教室もありませんでした。また、通学路の夢見坂もほとんど整備されておらず、通いやすい学校とはお世辞にも言えなかったようです。それでも、この場所にひばり校が建てられたのは、様々な理由があったそうなのですが、理由の一つに高台であることが挙げられます。ひばり校は創立1年目にして、なんと天文部が存在していたんですよ。
Dang, ship dude. At that point, she then pauses briefly and gives an embarrassed smile.
そんな伝統的な部が今ではテンクルと名を変えて、しかも部ではなくサークルになっていますけどね。このように天文部は衰退したのかもしれませんが、他のところは市と学校が協力し工事を重ねて、今のひばり校と夢見坂に変えていったそうです。偉大な先人に感謝ですが、 広大の天文部のためにせめて天体望遠鏡くらいは残してほしかったですね。
With that, Kasami-san finishes a little lecture on the school's history. The astro circle is a circle for stargazing, right? And you're saying they don't even have a telescope?
はい、どうも古くなって廃棄処分されたそうです。私が入学した時にはもうありませんでしたよ。
Then how do they even do any activities?
一応1台はあるんです。ですけどそれは麻生さんの私物なんですよ。20万円もする天体望遠鏡を喫茶店のお手伝い代を貯めて買ったって言ってました。
Goodness gracious, dude! Shit! It's like $2,000. That's pretty impressive.
それでも安い方なんだそうですよ。麻生さんはもっといい天体望遠鏡が欲しいみたいです。
It is? Dang! Shit, dude. Also must really love stargazing.
それよりこの卒業アルバムをどうするんですか？
I used to have a telescope. Then I lost it. Or broke it. One of the two. Maybe both. Maybe I broke it then lost it. But yeah, I used to have a telescope. It was really cool. Well, I want to look through them, of course. The yearbooks lined up next to each other on the library's long table offer a magnificent sight. That sight alone quite literally speaks of how far the school goes back.
どうして卒業アルバムを見たいのか理由を尋ねてもよろしいですか？
No you may not. If possible, I'd like you to refrain from that.
わかりました。それでは私、小ヶ坂さんがお探しのもう一つの本を探してきますね。
Thanks for understanding, Kasame. I appreciate it. I'm really thankful for Kasame-san's consideration. She isn't sure whether this library has any books concerning memory loss, but Kasame-san heads towards the shelves further in the back. Leaving her to work on that, I now turn toward the 52 yearbooks on the table. I open one of them and find every single graduate listed is also accompanied by a portrait, just as I'd hoped. This means I can properly investigate. What I need to do is to find her face in one of them. If I succeeded in that, I'd also find her name listed alongside it, meaning I could regain what I've lost. Since the yearbooks even contain the students' addresses on top of all that, I'd also be able to go see her. Dang, dude, I'm going all out with this. Shit, dude. Let's do this. I fire myself up. It's like I actually had to check all 52 of them, I was about to say. Like, she's obviously not, like, from the first, probably, like, first 30 or anything. Like, obviously she's close to her age, even if she's not, like, a year older than us, like, she'd be, like, what? Maybe, like, 2 to 4 years older than us at the most? And I feel like 3 to 4 is pushing it, really, like, more like 2 to 3. She may be older than me, but I'd say it is downright inconceivable that we are 10 years or more apart in age. Oh yeah, for sure, that's not even a question. In other words, by excluding the ones of years she can't possibly have graduated in, I will end up with less than 10 that I need to examine. As I probably didn't need her to get all of them for me. I apologize to Kusami-san inside my mind. Okay, good, we're not actually gonna check all those. Good, I was about to say. Like, yeah, because obviously she's not gonna be, as you said, like, 10 years older than us? Yeah, F no. I then make myself comfortable in the chair and begin to make my way through the yearbooks in chronological order, starting with the most recent one. Smart.
Kogasaka-san, どうですか?
Dude, it's evening already? Man, I've been here forever. Shit, dude.
もう夕方になってしまいましたけど、まだ終わりませんか?
I didn't find anything, did I?
そろそろ図書室を閉める時間ですけど。
I closed the last yearbook after finishing looking through it and slumped across the desk like a corpse. Unable to find a photo as I looked in yearbook after yearbook. Before I knew it, I ended up checking all 52 of them. Jeez, dude, the fuck. If I had found a photo among the monochrome pictures from the earlier years, I think dread would have outweighed happiness by a good margin. Sorry for staying this long, Kasami-san.
そんなの気にしないでください。それより、調べ物の方はうまくいきましたか？
Not really, unfortunately. Kusami-san also reveals a regretful expression.
貸し出しもできますけど、どうします？
No, it's fine. I didn't have what I was looking for. The lookout girl isn't a Hibari High graduate, which means that either she is a currently enrolled student, or she has gone to a different high school. Hibarigasaki has other high schools besides Hibari High. I don't know how many there are exactly, but in the event that she isn't a student here, I have no other choice but to investigate the other schools as well. Goodness gracious, dude. I'm just not giving up. I'm just going further, and I'm just going further and further down the rabbit hole, dude. Jeez. Goodness gracious. Shit, dude. The question being, how exactly do I go about that?
では、
Yeah.
こちらの本はどうしますか？
Kusame has one hardback and two paperbacks in her hands.
記憶喪失ということで、医療関係の棚を探してみたんですけど、この3冊くらいしか見つからなくて。
That's more than enough. Thanks. Kusame-san replies with an amiable smile and starts getting ready to make me a borrower's card. Kusame-san, you've been a really great help.
お礼には及びません。図書委員としてお役に立てて、私も嬉しかったですから。
The letters she writes, Kogasaka You, were on the card are tender and graceful. The books I borrowed at the library in my book bag, I decided to swing by the lookout on my way home. Yep. I'll end up waiting there, I suppose, for the lookout girl to show up, as well as a certain other girl, the Grim Reaper girl, named Mare. It's your fault I'm like this, you little flubber. I have a barrage of questions I want to ask her. Have you really stolen away the lookout girl's name from me? Have you reaped her name that you labeled my nightmare with that massive scythe? What even is that scythe to begin with? Why is that even after Why is it that even after having that thing pierced through my chest I received no injury? Good question. What was that peculiar sensation I felt when it went through me? Where did that gentle, bittersweet feeling I experienced come from? Why were you crying when you did that to me? There are an innumerable... Speak, Dragonforce, speak. There are an innumerable amount of mysteries surrounding Mare. For starters, there's that outfit. It's hot. Well, anyway, although I suppose since she is calling herself a Grim Reaper, you can just write that one off as her Grim Reaper attire and be done with it. Then there's that massive scythe of hers, which is supposedly another thing she has because of her identity as a Grim Reaper, that she uses to reap nightmares instead of souls. Besides those two things, there's the fact that she seems to know me from my childhood days, and has been waiting for me at the lookout in order to reap my nightmare. However, the reality is that I've never come across a girl with such a bizarre scythe in my childhood. To begin with, if you just stop and think about it, Mare would have to have been a baby, or at the very most, a kindergartner at the time. Although Mare herself denies that. She's ageless, she's a soul reaper. Why have you not understood this? Come on, yo. Her entire identity is one huge question mark to me. She doesn't have parents or a home, and as a cherry on top, supposedly she's been a Grim Reaper since birth and doesn't age. Yes, exactly. What is up that clearly non-human setting? Well, admittedly, since she is a Grim Reaper, I guess that may technically cause her to fall into the supernatural being category. Asuka would likely jump for joy if he had heard about that. But as for me, I can only see it as a well-crafted fibbing to hide something. No, I think she's telling the truth. Well, it might be something minor. There's another mystery that has non-human elements to it. The way she keeps disappearing right before my very eyes. It happened that night. Right after Mare reaped my nightmare, she she vanished into thin air. It happened abruptly, without even time for me to process what had happened. Maybe it was because I was reigned by severe confusion at the time. I might have just missed it turning her back towards me and then normally walking down the hill. At the time, I was in a mental state of excessive agitation. I was unable to think straight, and my brain couldn't process visual information properly either. However, thinking back with a sound mind, I haven't seen her leave the lookout despite having met her there several times. One second she is there, and the next she is gone. This isn't the first time the oddity of that has bugged me. When the stars in the sky become obstructed by clouds, my vision darkens momentarily, as if shrouded in mist. And then, Mare all of a sudden disappears. However, before I simply just figured it was an optical illusion. The human eye has difficulty switching between bright and dark, unable to keep up with abrupt changes in the field of vision. Information processing therefore experiences a delay. Hence I simply reasoned that because my vision darkened abruptly right at that time Mare was passing me to leave the lookout, I mistook it as her having disappeared. And during that night, while the scythe was still sunk into my chest, it looked like she disappeared momentarily along with the scythe. Whether that was an optical illusion due to my agitated mental state, or whether it was genuine reality, that was another thing I had to meet her for in order to clarify. I need to know whether Mare really did disappear from my sight through some supernatural phenomenon that defies the laws of nature. It may be awfully hard to accept, but if she really is a Grim Reaper and not a human being, I'll also be able to believe that she is the one who reaped the Lookout Girl's name. Failing that, if it wasn't her doing after all, that would mean the responsibility would fall on my own shoulders for forgetting the Lookout Girl's name. It would mean I, through my own actions, clouded over my precious memories of her. Maybe I'm just over-glorifying those memories. It would appear I have a tendency to treat the Lookout Girl as some sort of treasure. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of true regardless of the result. Like, I mean, we as the player obviously know it was Mare, because it was very apparent. But Yo doesn't know. And like, so, regardless of whether he figures out that it was Mare who did it or not, or whether he thinks it's his fault, like, regardless, he does treat the Lookout Girl as a sort of treasure. Like, it's pretty clear at this point, I'd say. Just saying. When sunset comes around, the sky that was clear beforehand starts to cloud over. The stars proceed to exit my vision. Thick-looking clouds completely block out the light beyond them. Mare said she'd only come here on clear nights. So does that mean she won't come today? Probably not. Just as I don't have any sort of contact information for the Lookout Girl, I have nothing from Mare either. Maybe I should have asked her? Guess it's just my passiveness coming back to bite me again, huh? But I have to admit, I kind of feel like she dodged the question, saying something like, Grim Reapers don't have contact information, even if I did ask her. She probably would say that, and it's probably true. I keep sitting on the lawn gown. What? Lawn gown? Lawns don't wear gowns, silly Dragon Force. I keep sitting on the lawn grown cold and gaze up at the melancholic night sky, veiled in clouds until a fair while past nightfall. Hi, Chinami. The moment I return home, giving up on being able to see Mare in the end, Chinami rushes over to me at a speed that would put any debtor chasing bill collector to shame. Fed up with her already, I placed my ice-cold hand on her forehead. Chinami! You're not glad to be able to go out like that? They say that for us humans, no death is more beautiful than dying through freezing. Hi, Aunt Shino. Yeah, I had some stuff I needed to do. Did you guys already have dinner?
けあるから早く食べましょう。
Sorry, you can just eat without me when I get late again from now on.
そんなのダメだよお兄ちゃん。家族はみんな揃って晩ご飯が基本なんだから。
It is, just one. I gently popped my hand on Chinami's head. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about today, Chinami.
全然へっちゃらだよ。だって今日のちなみは超ご機嫌だからね。
Why, you make 100 friends? Already?
ちなみちゃん、新しいクラスで早速お友達ができたんですって。
Isn't he Suzu?
そうなんだよお兄ちゃん。ちなみに新しいクラスで本ちゃんとまた会えたんだよ。本ちゃんとクラスメートになれたんだよ。
But no, she's probably dying inside. That poor girl.
なんでちなみが期待した反応と真逆なの？
Well, good for you if you were able to become friends with her. I guess.
葵ちゃんはちなみの親友第1号に認定したよ。葵ちゃんも笑顔で喜んでくれたんだよ。
Are you sure? Are you sure it was a cheerful smile? Imagine that girl if a smile was hard enough as is. I know, right? Knowing Chinami, I assume she merely decided that on her own, regardless of the reality, but she really isn't one to be trifled with, since if you don't be careful, you'll be dragged into that delusion next thing you know. Lol, darn it. As an older brother, that's both a point of concern and relief at the same time.
今夜はようちゃんとちなみちゃんの転入お祝いで私も腕を振るっちゃったから。ではでは、お兄ちゃんおしのさんお手製ディナーまでご案内。
Pulling me along by the arm, Chinami drags me to the dining room. So, Shino-san, before we eat, would you mind informing me if whether Chinami helped make dinner?
今日は私一人で作ったのよ。
Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Perfect. Tonight I'll eat to my heart's content.
なんだよそれ。お兄ちゃんのバカ。
Oh, Chinami. Oh, I don't get to see the dinner? What is this bullshit? That's some BS right there. The thought. Oh well. After saving the feast Shino-san has prepared and relaxing in the living room for a while, I returned to my room. I placed a part-time job advertisement magazine I bought at the shopping district on my way back from the lookout onto my desk. Setting that aside to sift through later, I next took out the books relating to memory loss that I have in my book bag. Look at my neat room. All that freaking effort, freaking unpacking has finally paid off. The titles range from the mysteries of human memory to everything about the brain. In other words, they aren't strictly about memory loss. But if there are at least a few small passages concerning memory loss inside these, that'll be more than enough for me. I can't thank Osami-san enough for finding all these books for me. Alright then. Books in hand, I sit down at my desk. Oh no. Sad music again, oh no. I all of a sudden forgot the name of the lookout girl. According to my knowledge, something like that can only be described as memory loss or amnesia. Hence I want to research the topic. Of course, I don't actually have to do research on how to treat memory loss in order to regain her name. It would be enough to simply see or hear her name again. However, that simply see or hear it has proven to be more difficult than I thought. I've already asked Aunt Shino and Chinami about the lookout girl. If you happen to know the name of the girl I used to play with at the lookout as a kid, please tell me. But while Chinami knew who she was, she didn't know her name, and Aunt Shino didn't even know I had played with a girl like that in the first place. Now that I think about it, only my mom and Chinami ever knew about my escapades with her. I never told anyone but them. Mom wasn't alive anymore, so naturally asking her for information was out of the question. So it turns out I am out of options when it comes to hearing her name. I can't let myself panic though. The second you let your emotions control you, you lose the ability to think straight. That was exactly what happened when Mare stabbed me. All I did was gaze in disbelief in response to what Mare had done to me. Nothing else. I simply let everything play out as it did. Maybe I would have been able to put up some resistance if I'd only tried. Maybe I wouldn't have ended up forgetting her name then. Phew. After taking one deep breath, I focused on the books in front of me. I started by checking the table of contents, and then proceeded to check the topics that seemed like they might touch upon memory loss. I continue reading while focusing my time on those parts. Ah, jeez. By the time I'm done glossing over all the related sections, it is already around midnight. Inside my head, I saw out the information I've gained from the books. Among the neurological disease known as amnesic syndrome, which is a broader definition of memory loss, that symptoms point to a particular form called lacunar amnesia, apparently. Memory is generally subdivided into two large categories: declarative memory and procedural memory. Defined simply, the former can be expressed through words, while the latter cannot. A memory which cannot be expressed through words mainly consists of motor skills and memorization of how to do various things. Basically, memory that details how to use objects and move your body accordingly, like when playing an instrument or doing some sport. So muscle memory? The memory that I've lost is one you can express through words. Declarative memory. The general term for all forms of impairment with regards to the declarative memory is amnesia. Amnesia is also subdivided into two forms: total amnesia and lacunar amnesia. The former is when you forget all memories within a specific time frame, while the latter is when you only forget a certain piece of your memories for a certain time frame. Accordingly, one can deduce that I am suffering from lacunar amnesia. There are many things that can result in lacunar amnesia, it seems. They range from psychological causes such as stress to physical trauma like injuries, as well as diseases or drug usage. In my particular case, I can't judge which applies. Anyhow, the most important thing is that the method of treatment for lacunar amnesia is awfully simple. In the majority of cases when it comes to lacunar amnesia, the lost memories normally come back on their own after a certain amount of time passes, which can be as little as a few days to as long as 1 or 2 months. Medical treatment in the form of hypnotherapy and electroshock therapy is an option as well, it seems. But these books seem to advise going for those options good. Even if you ignore it entirely, the brain cures memory loss on its own. The best method of treatment is supposedly to not worry all too much about what you've forgotten, and not beat your head over it. So as if you do just that, you'll be able to remember what you've forgotten through some sort of trigger. What the hell? Is that supposed to mean I should just twiddle my thumbs as I idly wait for her name to come back to me? Will that really lead to me remembering her name again eventually? Isn't that just indulging in my sweet idleness under the assumption that everything will work out in the end? Wait. Maybe I should actually be thankful for this development. Given that my current situation is close to hitting dead ends on all of my fronts, I should proactively engage in waiting if that'll lead to me remembering her name again. I just have to put effort into waiting. I almost feel like that's just my convenient interpretation, though. Anyhow, waiting comes after I've done everything in my power. These 3 books aren't the absolute authority on this, so I should keep doing research on memory loss when I have the time. Other than that, I have to get final confirmation on whether or not she is an enrolled student at Hibari High. It would be great if the roster of enrolled students had photos of every student as well. But much unlike yearbooks, I have a hard time believing I'll be able to get permission to inspect the roster in the first place. The only thing I can do is just ask about that tomorrow. Apart from that, I need to go around the Studios' classrooms and take a look at the faces of all the girls. Since there is a possibility of overlooking some of them, I suppose I need to repeat doing that several times. I thought we decided to be a bad idea to do that? Oh no. Again, we're going deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole, dude. Oh jeez. When I get the time to. Also, I should walk around the residential area and shopping district. If she lives nearby somewhere, we might happen to pass by each other. Dude, I feel like I'm gonna get arrested eventually. Oh no. Oh no. And then of course there's the lookout. At night, I'll go see Mare. I don't think we can anymore because we opened our eyes. And she said, remember she said if we open our eyes we won't be able to see her ever again. So I think we're not gonna be able to see her now. Because, like, we opened our eyes. I have to meet with her again and talk to her. There are simply way too many things I need to ask her. Gotta do everything I can. Also, better make sure not to forget about my search for a part-time job. Oh yeah, by the way, there's a part-time job. Darn it. Lol. I only started living here in Hibarigasaki just the other day, and I feel like things have suddenly gotten ridiculously hectic. Only given the job advertisement magazine a short glimpse, I found myself down on my bed. Chinami. I don't know what to say to you at this point anymore, girl. But dude, like, I feel like we're becoming sort of obsessed with this now. Like, if we weren't already, we definitely are now. Like, shit, dude. Like, I think we need to take the book's advice and, you know, like, wait. Not like how he's waiting, like, quote unquote, proactively waiting. Like, no, just wait and relax, you know, like, it'll come back naturally, like the book said. We don't want to contradict it by doing what we kept doing, going further and further down the rabbit hole, like I said, we've been doing. Like, just keep going deeper and deeper, and it seems very unhealthy and not good. I'm concerned. And yeah, we also learned about the Astro Circle and freaking Asuka's occult circle. I mean, the cult circle still sounds a million times better than the secret society for the hidden big titty. You know, that's from Hello Goodbye, by the way. It was a stupid club that a stupid character made up. Oh, man. But yeah. So, I mean, Asuka, like, his club sounds better than that one, at least. So, there's that. But yeah, imagine if you got, like, a freaking choice. to join either the Astro Circle or the UFO Circle or the occult circle, and like you made a choice, and if you picked the occult circle, then it leads to like a joke end or a bad end. It'd be really funny. Oh man. But yeah, definitely. I definitely think we've got it like that. Yo needs to like just relax, take a breather, and just chill out for a bit, because I feel like it's only gonna get more like I feel like he's only gonna get more obsessed with it as time goes on, to the point where it gets really bad and affects his life a lot, even more than it already is. Because like you see, we barely looked at the job magazine before passing out, because he spent most of our time focusing on that instead of other stuff. So yeah. It's not looking too good for us right now. I'm just saying.